What's up, Taiwan? I'm Eric Gao in Taipei with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Prosecutors here have launched an investigation into the case of a man who sailed from China to Taiwan in a rubber boat. It's the second time in recent months that a Chinese civilian has breached the country's maritime border, and it's raising security concerns. Joyce Tsim reports.
Seeking a new life is what this man said he was doing when he attempted to enter Taiwan from China in a rubber dinghy. Now, Taiwanese prosecutors are working to determine his true motives. The 30-year-old man, known only by his surname Wang, reportedly got on the inflatable boat here at a beach in Ningbo in China's eastern Zhejiang province. Then, after 5 days at sea in the under 4-meter vessel, he was spotted here, more than 500 kilometers away near the Hogang River estuary in northern New Taipei City. Taiwan's Coast Guard found Wang severely dehydrated and was sent to hospital before eventually being detained without bail.
初步清询该陆籍人士的说辞与偷渡案件各说辞一致，表示在大陆负债，想到台湾重新生活。
Chinese nationals illegally coming to Taiwan is a sensitive issue, given Beijing's claims of sovereignty over the self-ruled nation and its threat to invade. Any Chinese breach raises national security alerts for Taipei. That ranges from any acts of military coercion to civilian fishing boats crossing into Taiwanese waters. In June, another Chinese man was indicted for illegally entering Taiwan from China by speedboat. Initially triggering national security concerns, it was later found that there was insufficient evidence of military or espionage motives. Wang is now the third person this year to enter Taiwan illegally from China, and the 18th in the last 2 years. But pointing to Wang's choice of vehicle, an easily punctured rubber dinghy, security analysts note providing humanitarian aid is a responsibility Taiwan must bear on top of potential security threats.
One of the things that the Coast Guard really should be focused on, really first and foremost, is search and rescue and the humanitarian aspect of the responsibilities. You have to look at this with a certain level of suspicion, understandably. But also keep in mind, these are still people that could be coming here because of other scenarios that may have brought them over.
As investigations continue, Taiwan's Coast Guard is also working on upping its surveillance technology, given their radars did not detect Wang's drifting rubber boat, an effort to remain vigilant to protect the territorial waters and the people in them who may need help. Eason Chen, Jaime Ocon, and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump has been confirmed safe and unharmed after another apparent attempt on his life as he played golf in Florida. One man is in custody, and an AK-47 assault rifle has been recovered. Rosie Gwininger reports.
A heavy police presence in West Palm Beach, Florida, as U.S. officials investigate a second assassination attempt on Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump.
Former President Donald Trump is safe and unharmed following a protective incident shortly before 2 p.m. on Sunday at Trump International Golf Club at West Palm Beach. The U.S. Secret Service personnel opened fire on a gunman located near the property line.
A Secret Service agent was clearing holes ahead of Trump when he spotted a man with a firearm in the shrubbery surrounding the golf course, just 400 meters away from the former president. The Secret Service agent fired at least 4 shots at the suspect, but the man managed to escape and fled by car. Police shut down roads in the area and detained the suspect about 72 kilometers north of the golf course, also recovering an AK-47 assault rifle. The man in custody has been identified as Ryan Wesley Ruth, a builder in Hawaii. He had taken to social media to weigh in on politics, at times criticizing the former president.
Our prosecutors are currently working up warrants and a motion for pretrial detention for the suspect. In that way, he will be kept in custody. But our filing of these warrants and charges at the state level does not preclude federal charges that could be coming.
After returning to his Mar-a-Lago resort, Trump released a short statement in a campaign fundraising email, saying, "I am safe and well, no one was hurt. There are people in this world who will do whatever it takes to stop us. I will not stop fighting for you. I will never surrender. Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris and sitting President Joe Biden reacted to the incident on social media, saying they are glad Trump is safe and reiterated that violence has no place in America. It's the second attempt on Donald Trump's life during this presidential campaign.
Look at what happened.
Just over 2 months ago, a 20-year-old man grazed Trump's ear as he took aim at the former president during a rally in Pennsylvania. That security failure leading to the resignation of the chief of the Secret Service. Since then, security measures have been increased, and police say this time the Secret Service acted effectively.
In my opinion, having been in that job and knowing how tough it is and the pressure and the demands, right, on an agent from day to day, I see this as a protective a win. Unfortunately, I think you're going to see that many people are going to see it as yet another failure, and I just don't see it that way.
With the suspect in custody, investigations are continuing into his motive and if he acted alone. But as the race to the White House ramps up during an increasingly volatile time in the United States, it's clear that the security of the candidates will remain the top concern. Dolphine Chen and Rosie Greninger for TaiwanPlus.
9 candidates vying to become Japan's next prime minister have held their first debate. The Liberal Democratic Party has governed Japan almost without interruption for decades. Whoever wins this internal contest on September 27th will be the country's next leader. Among the issues the candidates discussed were disaster prevention, ties with the U.S., and the threat of North Korea. China was on the agenda as well.
日中でどうするかというものは、やはり同志国民主主義の国々としっかりと共同戦線を持って、共同戦略を持って、いかに中国のこの過剰生産の問題に当たるのか、あるいはこの中国の半導体その他の問題に当たるのか、この民主主義の国々でしっかりと同じ戦略を持って当たっていくということが、この中国に対しての力になっていくんだと思います。
The death toll from Typhoon Yagi continues to rise in Myanmar, with junta officials now saying 113 people have died there. The typhoon has dealt an especially hard blow to a country already struggling from years of war and displacement. John Van Trieste reports.
In rural Myanmar, retreating floodwaters leave muddy fields scattered with destruction. Typhoon Yagi shredded through a big chunk of Southeast Asia, but for this country, pounded by years of civil war, it's an especially hard blow. The death toll here alone is officially 113, and with roads and communications out, this could rise. At the Yado camp for internally displaced people, there was little neighbors could do for each other as the waters rose. Now, large numbers of people the war hadn't displaced are headed to camps too. The country's ruling junta says over 300,000 are already in these temporary relief camps. Belto, a resident of the Yado camp for displaced people, was lucky to escape the flooding with his life. But though he's lost nearly everything, he still feels for those who are now starting their own uncertain journey to camps like his. The devastation is so thorough that the country's military rulers, who once shunned foreign aid, are now seeking it out. India's already answered the call. But with infrastructure out and water still at unsafe levels in some places, it's a question of how fast this help can get to those who need it. Chris Ma and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
It's Mid-Autumn Festival when people here in Taiwan often enjoy barbecued meat and egg-based mooncakes. But not everyone can eat those. Our reporter Wesley Lewis looks at how vegans and vegetarians are adjusting holiday conventions to suit their diets.
Fire up the grill. It's Mid-Autumn Festival in Taiwan. Families across the country celebrate the holiday by gathering with loved ones around outdoor barbecues. It's usually a meat-centered holiday, but vegans and vegetarians take part too.
今天吃了4季豆，然后还在等。
The barbecuing custom started nearly 3 decades ago when 2 competing condiment companies started marketing their sauces for Mid-Autumn Festival barbecues. During the holiday, many vegetarians celebrate alongside non-vegetarians and just wait for their turn at the grill.
就是你要等吃肉的人都把肉烤完之后才会换烤菜。
In recent years, fewer people in Taiwan have been celebrating with outdoor barbecues, instead opting for restaurants. But some vegetarians say barbecue restaurants have not done enough to offer menu options for them.
In Taiwan, if you go to a obviously meat-based restaurant, they would flat out refuse you and not serve you and say, well, if you can stay, but we only have maybe like onions, or maybe we only have, some type of condiments that's not even a proper, dish.
Mooncakes are another traditional delicacy during Mid-Autumn Festival. They often contain eggs, making them non-vegan. But some companies have been adjusting their recipes to cater to more people.
I think the biggest thing that has changed recently is the availability of mooncakes that are vegan friendly. So in the past, vegetarian is always a much easier thing to do with pastries, but vegan is very difficult. When you take away the butter, the milk, the eggs, then it's like, how do you make an egg yolk pastry vegan, right? And actually a lot of the bakeries have come up with really genius fillings like sweet potato.
Although Mid-Autumn Festival is often associated with grilled meat and egg-based desserts, vegans and vegetarians continue to put their own twist on holiday foods. And since the overarching theme of the holiday is community, it makes the small adjustments to long-standing customs seem all the more worthwhile. John Su, Kamashu, and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
And as we just saw, the Mid-Autumn Festival is a very food-focused holiday. But sky-high prices, along with climate change, are chewing into the festivities. Irene Lin explains.
Taiwan loves its food traditions during Mid-Autumn Festival, including barbecues and this sweet savory pastry like this duck and mooncake. But climate change is affecting what people here can serve on the table this holiday. Climate activist group Greenpeace says prices of essential ingredients such as vegetables and duck eggs have risen by at least 40% due to extreme heat. These price spikes are a growing problem not just during the holiday season, but in schools all year round, with children and parents dealing with more and more limited options on school lunch menus.
在学校午餐，它本来就是一个融合小朋友一定要吃饱，因为他们可能4、5点才放学。可是，在吃饱的过程当中，一定会有一些孩子他们是有偏食的。孩子们从家庭或者从媒体和社会上学来的这样的一些饮食的生活呢，会不会因为气候有变迁，现在已经可以看到一些端倪了哈。
It's a phenomenon that groups here are calling climate inflation. Activists here are pushing for the government to introduce new laws to reduce the problem and compensate vulnerable groups.
我们认为短期而言，应建立气候通膨的补偿金制度，来缓解民众面对气候通膨的冲击。那尤其是针对一些气候脆弱族群，像是中低收入户、儿童、老人。
While families around Taiwan are gathering to enjoy festive meals, today's event is a reminder that rising prices are making it harder for many to afford things they once took for granted, and how climate change is changing the world around us. Scott Huang and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
Thanks for joining us here on What's Up Taiwan. Visit the TaiwanPlus website to get more of our reports or follow us on social media for the latest updates. Finally, have you ever seen a pumpkin that's as heavy as a full-grown bull? This giant crushed the record in Russia, weighing 817 kilograms. I'm Eric Gao. Take care, and we'll see you next time.